Hello everybody, it's Teacher Jiang. It's a lovely rainy day in China today, and today I want to talk about how to get your teaching license while teaching in China. So I posted a video about what my salary range was like teaching in China, and a lot of people had questions about how were you able to get such a high salary range teaching in China. And I responded, it's that you need to get yourself a teaching license. Now, do you need a teaching license to be able to teach in China? No. There are other ways that you can do to be able to teach in China, but in order for you to get a higher salary range and benefits, you need to have your teaching license. Now, so I want to talk about, give you some examples of what I did to obtain the teaching license online while I was still teaching in China. But I'll also share some examples of what else you can do to be able to teach in China without actually having a teaching license. So, how I got my teaching license. So, when I first came to China, I didn't have teaching license. I just had a TESOL certificate, which allowed me to teach English at a local training center. I have a New Zealand passport, so that means I'm qualified as a native speaker. So I was able to teach with just the TESOL certificate. So after many years, and I did a lot of different certification like Cambridge TKT certifications. I got all 6. And I also did the diploma in TESOL with Trinity College in London while I was still working at the training center. Then I shifted to international teaching setting. And then I was thinking, okay, I need to get myself a teaching license to make myself more competitive. So I looked into different ways on how I can get a teaching licenses. So one of the most common entry-level method that you will find online is doing yourself a PGC, or there's some PGCI as well for international version. For those who don't know, PGC is a postgraduate certification in education. So just a postgraduate level of sort of entry level of, teaching. So you do lots of readings, theories, and lots of assignments and essay writings that I know. Yeah, but one of the downside, in my opinion, with doing PGCE is that it doesn't actually get you your UK teaching license. So once you completed the PGCE, in order to get a qualified teacher, like QTS in the UK, you have to do a practical placement in one of the schools in the UK. Now, because I was living in China, that was just impossible. I could not do that. So I didn't want to do PGCE, then having to say, oh, sorry, I can't do practical placement in the UK. I'm not going to get my teaching license, right? So I need to find another option. So then I was talking to one of my friends from another city, and he told me about a program called Teach Now. It's called the Moreland University now, but back then they were still called Teach Now. And what that school had is a teacher preparation program, which is about 8 months. Then once you completed that course, it's all done online, you're eligible to apply for the US teaching license. So I looked into it, did some research, and found out as much information I can. So I'll call it Moreland University now, because that's what they're called now. So in Moreland University, once you need to have a minimum bachelor's degree and some teaching experience would be great. I had other Cambridge TKT certificates and other things to help with the application. So you enroll. Once you get in, you'll be assigned a cohort. So a group of like 10 to 20 teachers. So because I was based in China, I had in a cohort with a lot of Chinese teachers that are located in China. So we all have a sort of similar time zones to do the assignments and the video conference. So the course is about 8 months. Can't remember how many modules there were. So you have a weekly sort of online session with the tutor. So every week there's an assignment and a topic, and you get together on Zoom call and to discuss. And then you have your weekly assignment that you need to complete, reading and assignments you need to complete and apply. A bit of a collaboration on assignments too between group members. You just got to coordinate with that. So you need to spend about a few hours every week to complete the tasks. So once you complete the teacher preparation course, you need to do your practice exam. So praxis is not nothing to do with Moreland education. It's a teaching, subject knowledge teaching exam that is run by it's for the Ministry of Education in the Washington D.C. So you need to complete the praxis exam on the subject area that you're going to teach. So I did about 5 praxis exams and 3 core ones that everyone used to do, the fundamental ones. And then I did the 2 selected ones for the subject area, which was early education. So I did 2 related to early education, so that when I got my teaching license, it says I'm qualified to teach, early years up to grade 3. So if you wanted to be teaching like primary science, then you need to do the praxis exam for primary science, and it will test your subject knowledge on that area. If you wanted to teach math in high school, then you need to do a high school math praxis exam that tests your subject knowledge in that area. So, and if you are doing, you can do as many praxis exams as you like, so then you'll be qualified to teach different subjects at different levels. So if you did the high school math praxis exam, because it's high school level, you kind of automatically be able to teach primary school math as well. But if you did primary school math, but later you want to teach high school, then you need to take a high school math praxis exam as well. Okay, so you finish the 8 months course, do your set of praxis exam that you need for your subject teaching, and then you need to go through the FBI background check. It's not that hard, but getting the fingerprint done was really tricky. I'll tell you about how I got mine done, because it got rejected the first time and I need to do it again. And once you've done all that, send in all the documents and application to the Department of Education in Washington D.C. Once they check it approved, then they send you your teaching license. So once you get your teaching license, what I did was I immediately went to the UK QTS website, UK Government Department of Education website, and apply for QTS, Qualified Teacher Status. So it's like when you have a driver's license in a different state. When you change the state or country, you need to change the license to the state or country, right? So exactly that. So for the QTS, I applied as an overseas teacher, as a US teacher. So they have a reciprocal program where they recognize each other's licenses. That means I don't have to do additional tests or exams. So I just sent them my US teaching license, and they gave me my UK QTS with the TRN, teacher registration number. So that's the number you need for registered teacher. So yeah, that's how I got my UK teaching license, QTS, while fully online, while still living and teaching in China. So process took a year, so 8 months of the course, then a few more months to get the exams and paperwork done, and I get my QTS. So yeah, I think for me, that's the fastest way to get yourself a QTS while still working and teaching in China, and everything is done online. Only exception will be is a praxis exam, I think. Your praxis exam, you're supposed to go to the exam centers in Guangzhou or Shanghai at certain times and certain day. But this was I did mine during COVID time. So I was able to do the praxis exam on my laptop in my room. So I didn't have to travel to Shanghai or Guangzhou. But for now, I think you do have to travel to the exam centers in Shanghai or Guangzhou. But other than that, everything else is done online. So in terms of the cost, at the time when I did the Moreland University teacher prep course, it was $6,000 USD for the course. But I had a search associate sort of entry-level account, which allowed me to apply for a discount, $1,000 off. So I only paid about $5,000 USD. But now, if I remember, I think it's gone up to $7,000 USD now. I'm not sure. Check out the website. There are some agency out there. They do offer some sort of discount. So look for some discounts out there. You might be able to get some. And you didn't have to pay the whole tuition fee a lump sum up front. There are options for a monthly billing. So I chose monthly billing. So I only had to pay about $700 or $800 a month throughout the course. So that really helped me a lot with financially. So look into that. Praxis exam, that was about 100 or 120 USD per exam. And you don't have to do the all exam all at one time. You can just spread out, do it at certain times. So it's kind of, you can find it, to plan, budget yourself financially. And the FBI application, obviously that it's free, but you need to send your application and the fingerprint to the US FBI head office. That costs money too, but it got rejected one time. Then I had to do it again. So what I did second time was, the first time I tried to use the ink and try to roll the ink onto there's a specialized pads that you get, and it got rejected. So then I looked into it. Another way you could do is do electronic fingerprinting and send that, which is much more like you're 100% likely to get it. So when I flew back to Australia for the holidays, I was talking to a friend who was an ex-police officer, and he told me about the services the police station offers. That you go in, they can help you digital scan your fingerprint, and they can help you send it. So I went to the local police station with all my documentations. They helped me with the fingerprinting with digital. They printed it out, and you're not actually allowed to take the digital fingerprint home. They don't let you. So I have to take all my documents, like prepaid envelope and everything there, and they'll put it in, seal it, and they will help me mail it for me. So that one got approved straight away. So if you do need to do background check with the FBI, I suggest doing it digitally at a local police station. So in China, they don't offer that kind of services at all. So I did it while I was back in Australia and got it done quickly. If you are a US citizen and you're flying back for the holiday, you can actually do that at the local police station, and they'll help you out with that as well. But if you're in China, Chinese police station, they don't do that kind of services at all. So you either test your luck rolling the ink on the pad, or just do it when you go back home and ask the local police station to help you digitally and send the form away. So yeah. So that's how I got my QTS, which is good. Another way, you don't need to have, like I said, you don't need to have a teaching license to be able to teach in China. So another thing that you could potentially get is the PGCE, which stands for Postgraduate Certificate in Education. So which is kind of a step above your TESOL certificate or your bachelor's. So what that does is although it's not a teaching license, but it kind of shows you that you have been putting effort and in your personal development, and schools notice these things, and they if they have two applicants, one with just a bachelor's degree, another one with bachelor's degrees and a PGCE, they're more likely to hire somebody with PGCE because you already put in the extra effort and doing your reading assignment and all that towards your teacher development. So PGCE is another way to go for it. There's another one, PGCI, which is like an international version. Some university offer them, some don't. So look into PGCE. Another certification that you could definitely do is IB certification, so International Baccalaureate. So there are some IB schools in China, and having these IB certification certainly does help with the application. So now you can do online courses, usually like a month long. Different levels and different subject fields in IB. So you can do them throughout the year, through a couple of years, and you have a couple of certifications in your resume. There are some in-person workshops they hold throughout the year. So you can attend those and learn and network with the different IB teachers as well. So that's another way, IB certifications. Another one you could definitely do if you're interested in teaching English is Cambridge TKT, so teaching knowledge test. It's just an extra certification that you can do. If you work in some training centers in China, they offer these, they pay for these certification from the schools will pay for them. So I used to work in a school training center called EF, Education First or English First. They're still around. So the company will pay for these certifications. So I did all 6, I think there was 6, yeah. TK the Young Learners, Module 1, Module 2, Module 3. There's CELO and KL, yeah, there's 6. So, and the company pay for all the tests. It's an extra certification that you can get. Again, it's not as significant as getting your master's or US teaching license, but comparing to other teachers who only have TESOL certificates or who only just have bachelor's degree, you're going to have a higher chance of getting hired if you have those Cambridge certifications or PGCE or IB certifications. Yeah, so these are some different qualifications and certificates you can get. Another one I did through the training center, actually, the company, was the diploma in TESOL with Trinity College in London. So I gone through the company, paid it myself, and I got my diploma in TESOL, which is like Delta, just offered by another school. So again, those things certainly does help with getting hired and applying, asking for a higher salary. So these are the different certification and qualification I have or I know of that you can do to increase your chance of teaching in China and hopefully on a higher teacher salary bracket. So if you have any questions about these different qualification and certification I talked about, let me know in the comments and I'll try my best to answer them for you. But good luck, start working on these certifications and qualification now, so you'll be ready to apply for the next school year in September next year. Okay, thanks for watching. Have a good day. Bye.